Good morning, children. I am back with the next video and the first video for the chapter of fractions for class 7th. Here we are going to understand what actually fractions are and the types of fractions. So let's enter into the world of fractions. First of all, what is a fraction? A fraction expresses a part of a group and is written as P upon Q. Let's understand these words first. A fraction expresses a part of a group. I'll give you an example. Suppose in your school you have 5 friends. So your group becomes 5. This is the total group, 5. Now, on a particular day, suppose 2 of your friends are absent. Okay? So, what part is absent? Part absent. What part is absent? 2 are absent. And how many will be present? So, the part present will be 3. This is very easy to understand, but when we come to fractions we get confused. Now I am saying a fraction expresses a part of a group. So if I ask the fraction of your friends who are absent, so the part which is absent of the whole group. A fraction expresses part of a group. Now it is asked for absent. So fraction absent will be 2 out of 5 set as 2 upon 5. Similarly, if it is asked that out of this group what fraction is present, we will say 3 upon 5. So 3 parts of the 5 parts of the group are present. So the lower part represents the full number, and out of that full number is divided into how many parts and which part are we talking of. Let's take one more example. Suppose I have a cake. Okay. And this cake has been divided into 8 equal pieces. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now what can you call your group as? This cake has a group of 8 pieces. Okay. And you like cakes, so you come and out of these 8 cakes you eat suppose 3 pieces. Okay. So now if asked what fraction have you eaten? What fraction have you eaten? Then a fraction expresses a part of the group. You have eaten 3 parts out of a group of 8. So this is what is the meaning of this definition, and then it is saying written as P upon Q. You must be seeing whatever fractions I have written them as 2 numbers separated by a division line. Okay. So this is the numerator. The upper part is the numerator and the part below the line, that is the lower part. This is the numerator and the lower part is called the denominator. Suppose my numerator is P and denominator is Q. Then we say a fraction is expressed in the part of P upon Q. But one condition applies to it, that Q should not be equal to 0. Q should not be equal to 0. Now, so any number 2 upon 5, 3 upon 5, 3 upon 8, all these are representing fractions in the form of P upon Q, and we say Q is not 0. It means if I write 3 upon 0, then this number is not a fraction because Q cannot be 0. I hope this fraction part is clear to you. So now we move on to the types of fractions. I have listed over here all the types of fractions and I will be explaining these to you one by one. So the first fraction you can see in my list I have written as like fractions and unlike fractions. We will express it in first words, means I will define it for you, and then through examples I will explain this to you also. So here I am, the first one, the like and unlike fractions. We have already said that fractions are in the form of p upon q. So if we talk of two or more fractions, then when a set of fractions has the same denominator, they are said to be like fractions. Fractions having same denominator are like fractions, and fractions having different denominators are unlike fractions. So some examples of like fractions can be like, say, 3 upon 7, 1 upon 7, 11 upon 7. So what is required? The denominator should be same. Then we have unlike fractions. Unlike fractions are about different denominators. Numerator whatever it is, okay? But denominator should be different. So suppose I have now 3 upon 7, 1 upon 8, 8 upon 12, 7 upon 11. All these have different denominators. Therefore, they are called unlike fractions. This is clear? We move on to the next one, that is listed over here, proper fractions. Now, what is a proper fraction? Whenever a fraction is expressed in the form of p upon q and p is smaller than q, then the fraction is said to be a proper fraction. Means the numerator should be smaller than the denominator. Such a fraction is called a proper fraction. And examples of proper fraction we can take like 5 upon 8. Now here 5 represents p and 8 represents q, and we see that 5 is less than 8, that is p is less than q. Therefore, such fractions in which the numerator is smaller and denominator is bigger is a proper fraction. Any other example? 7 upon 32 is also an example of proper fraction. Next, improper fraction. If proper fraction is clear to you, I think now in your mind you will be getting what is a improper fraction. So improper fraction is when it is also expressed in the form of p upon q, but here p is greater than q, means the numerator will be larger than the denominator. Numerator is larger than the denominator. Example of this will be, say I have 7 upon 4. Numerator is bigger than the denominator. Then I can have 22 upon 5. Such fractions are called improper fractions. Next, moving on to mixed fractions. What are mixed fractions? A mixed fraction is a fraction which consists of a whole number and a proper fraction along with it. A whole number and a proper fraction associated with it. For example, if I write 3 whole 1 upon 2. So here this 3 is the whole number part and 1 upon 2 is the fraction part. Such a number is called a mixed fraction. Another example, let's take 22 whole 7 upon 11. 22 whole 7 upon 11. So it will have a whole number and it will have a proper fraction. And one more thing to tell you here, that a improper fraction can be converted to a mixed fraction, and vice versa, a mixed fraction can be converted to a improper fraction. Proper fractions do not get converted to mixed fractions. Sometimes children while calculating make this mistake. I don't know how. They convert a proper fraction also into a mixed fraction. But this is not possible. Only improper fractions can be converted to mixed and mixed to improper. Let's see how this can be done. Let me take this number only, 7 upon 4. This number you know how to divide. It is a very simple division. Let's do it. 7, 4. 4 ones are 4 and I get 3 as the remainder. So in this part, this becomes the whole number part of the fraction. Okay. So I will get 1 whole. 4 is the denominator. It will remain the denominator. And whatever is the remainder becomes the numerator. Is it clear? And when we convert a mixed fraction into a improper fraction, what we do is, first we multiply the denominator with the whole number, and after that we add the numerator to it. After that the numerator is added to it. So let's see, denominator is 4, whole number is 1, and we add the numerator to it. 4 ones are 4 plus 3, okay, which gives me 7, which has become the numerator part, and denominator is 4. So this is how we convert the improper fraction to mixed and mixed to improper. Then let's proceed with the next type of fraction, which is the decimal fraction. So for this, let me just put all this away and we will move on to the next fraction, the decimal fraction. I hope things are becoming clear to you. So let's begin quickly. Right. Now the next fraction which we are studying is the decimal fraction. Any fraction, of course fraction will be in the form of P upon Q, where Q is 10 or multiple of 10. So whenever my denominator is either like 7 upon 10, 6 upon 100, 2 upon 1000, 21 upon 10,000, like this. All such numbers are called decimal fractions. The denominator needs to be 10 or a multiple or any power of 10. Okay. So such fractions are called decimal fractions. Then next is the vulgar fraction. Now a vulgar fraction is also a fraction of the form of P upon Q, but here Q is not a multiple of 10. It is not a multiple of 10, or we can say all fractions besides the decimal fractions are vulgar fractions. For example, I have 6 upon 12, 7 upon 20. Now this 20 or 1 minute. So here let this go. Now decimal fraction. Decimal fraction is of the form of P upon Q, where Q is 10 or any exponent of 10. When I say exponent of 10, it means 10 multiplied any number of times, like 10 into 10, 100, 10 into 10 into 10, 1000, 10 into 10 into 10 into 10, 10,000. So the denominator has to be like 7 upon 10, say 6 upon 100, say 21 upon 1000, and the like. Such numbers are called decimal fractions. Then we move on to the vulgar fractions. The next one is vulgar fractions, where it is expressed in the form of P upon Q, but here Q is not 10 or any exponent of 10. Or we can say any number which is not a decimal, any fraction which is not a decimal fraction is a vulgar fraction. So I can have say 7 upon 12, say 6 upon 20. Now 20 is not an exponent of 10, because exponent of 10 will be 10 multiplied with 10, 10, 10 like that. So we can have this, then we can have 27 upon 6, 3, 2, 1. We can have 7 upon 200. All these are vulgar fractions. Okay. Then next we have the simple fractions. Now simple fractions are of the type of P upon Q, where P is also a whole number and Q is also a whole number. So a simple fraction, let's take it here. A simple fraction is of the form of P upon Q, where P is also a simple whole number and Q is also a simple whole number. To write the number, I can take anything, say 28 upon 603. Now 28 is also a whole number, 603 is also a whole number. So any number, any fraction which will have both the numerator and the denominator as a whole number will also be called a simple fraction. Then after simple fraction we have complex fraction. Complex fraction is a fraction in which P or Q, either P or Q or both, are fractions. Sounding slightly different, either P or Q or both are fractions. So suppose P is a fraction, say I say P is 2 upon 3 and Q is 4. So now I have a fraction divided by 4. So my P is a fraction, Q is a whole number. This becomes a complex fraction. Or I have say 4 upon 3 upon 7. Now my numerator is a whole number but my denominator is a fraction. So this also becomes a complex fraction. Then I can have, say I have a mixed fraction, 2 whole 1 upon 2, and here I have 3 whole 1 upon 7. So my numerator is also a type of fraction, a mixed fraction. My denominator is also a type of fraction. Such fractions are called complex fractions. Clear? And now last we move on to the equivalent fractions. What are equivalent fractions? This you have studied earlier also. Let's revise it quickly. So we are moving to the last one, which is equivalent fractions. Now equivalent fractions are those group of fractions which have the same value. Like suppose I write 1 upon 2. I write 2 upon 4. Then 3 upon 6. If I bring these fractions to the lowest term by dividing, I will see all are having the same value. This fraction is already in the lowest term. If I divide this, I again get 1 upon 2. If I divide this by 3, I again get 1 upon 2. So such fractions, like here I have written 1 upon 2, 2 upon 4, 3 upon 6. Such fractions are called equivalent fractions. The questions generally asked are: write equivalent fraction of, say, 2 upon 5. So how do we write equivalent fractions? To write the equivalent fractions, we multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number. So this will become 4 upon 10. 4 upon 10 is equivalent to 2 upon 5. If I have to write one more number, then I will multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number, some other number. So I get 6 upon 15. Thus 2 upon 5, 4 upon 10 and 6 upon 15 are equivalent fractions. To check whether the given fraction is equivalent or not, we will divide like this, and if we get all same, we say it is an equivalent fraction. I hope all about fractions is clear to you, and if you have any problem, you can ask through the comment section. Thank you.